Hey guys, we got some good news in the shocking case of Tate Adamiak, where ATF lies got him a 20-year sentence in prison. Hey everyone, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, the premier source for Second Amendment news, and today I'm bringing you a big update on the deeply troubling and jaw-dropping story of a U.S. Navy sailor, Tate Adamiak, who's now serving a 20-year sentence for owning items that were not weapons, they were not illegal, and even the ATF said so. His appeal is scheduled just days from now on September 12th, 2025, so let's unpack everything. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Hey guys, I'm Jared from Guns and Gadgets, and I'm here at Attorneys on Retainer. If you're serious about self-defense, it's time to get serious about defending yourself. When you become a member of AOR, they'll cover you in all kinds of scenarios in self-defense that others won't. In fact, they're able to cover you in every single state, and there aren't many that can say that either. They're an actual law firm, which means they're not held by certain limitations of other companies that are insurance-backed. And if you're serious about defending yourself, I will save you big dollars on your sign-up fee. I'll save you $25 off of your family sign-up and $50 off of your individual sign-up. All you gotta do is hit the link in the description down below. It's attorneysonretainer.us and use my code GNG. And when you give them a call, tell them I said hi. Let's be serious. When we're defending others, there's not a lot of people out there defending us. Attorneys on Retainer will have your back.
Tate Adamiak joined the Navy at 17 years of age, and he rose to the position of Master at Arms, which is an E6, and was training for a Navy SEAL commission when his life came crashing down. He was also an avid collector of military surplus and gun parts, which he bought and sold legally through Gunbroker and his own website, sometimes cleared over $10K a month, so he had a pretty good business going. Now these were non-regulated parts. They were not firearms, all legal. And he confirmed that with ATF. They confirmed the legality of this stuff. Now, I did cover this story in a little more detail on February 17th, and I'll link that video above and below as well. Now, back in April of 2022, the ATF executed a massive raid on his home, complete with SWAT, FBI, NCIS, bomb squad, and even local police. Now, they seized roughly 35 items. Again, nothing was illegal, including inert RPGs, replica Sten guns, and open bolt semi-automatic parts. Now, the ATF labeled them as suspected machine guns or suspected destructive devices. Now, Tate was indicted not for actual functioning weapons, but on the basis that these parts, in the ATF's interpretation, met the legal definition of machine guns. Now, experts, including the infamous former ATF specialist Dan O'Kelly, disputed this categorization, arguing that ATF misapplied federal law. He's been crushing them for years. So when he says that they've done screwed up, they've screwed up. He was there for a long time. Now at trial, prosecutors accused Adamiak of possessing 33 machine guns and destructive devices. Now the ATF expert turned these replicas into dangerous devices like reassembling inert RPGs to demonstrate the possible firing, directly misleading jurors. Now, despite no functioning weapons being recovered, no illegal parts being owned, everything was above water, by the book, Adamiak was convicted. Now, the judge imposed a 20-year sentence plus 3 years of probation, which is very, very similar to a federal murder sentence, all for doing absolutely nothing wrong. Now, some of the good news here, or at least something to hope for. Tate's appeal hearing, like I said, is set in a couple days for September 12th to 25, and it's going to be in the Fourth Circuit in Richmond, Virginia. His attorney is Matt LaRosiere on this one. He will hopefully argue the ATF fundamentally mischaracterized these items and violated Tate's rights. Now, in that hearing, the court could reverse the conviction and order a new trial, or partially reverse, potentially leading to a lighter sentence or release pending resentencing. Now, the case raises critical questions about executive overreach and regulatory unpredictability. How can law-abiding collectors be convicted of something when the ATF itself previously cleared these items as legal? Just like the pistol brace issue, right? For 10 years, they were totally okay until they got a hair across their ass, and then they weren't okay. Same thing with bump stocks. Now, how far can regulatory interpretation stretch before it becomes arbitrary lawmaking? And the ATF is famous for that. The ATF, like I said, literally raided and arrested a sailor, all because he had demilled parts kits, not a single functioning machine gun, not a single real destructive device. Now, if you are moved by this case, here are a few ways you can get involved. You can follow updates from myself and also my buddy Lee Williams, aka the Gun Writer, who is closely monitoring this case. He's been all over it. Contact your representatives as well and urge them to support and back Tate and put pressure on the ATF here. They need to reel in ATF. They need to be just disbanded totally. This isn't just about one man, it's about how the system handles law-abiding individuals when regulatory boundaries blur. Tate's appeal is just a few days away and it could set a huge precedent. I'll be covering the outcome, so make sure that you subscribe, like, and ring the bell so that you don't miss any of the updates. Thank you for watching. I really, truly appreciate your time. Guys and gals, until we see each other again, man, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun, keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe, but most importantly, stay free, America. Take care.